Hello everyone, and welcome to Grammar Level 2, Lesson 1, Parts of the Sentence. Pay very close attention to the formatting today because we are going to try to fit all of the notes for Level 2 on one page. That's right, all of the notes for Level 2 on one page. You'll notice here that I've bumped the heading up a little bit to give the most space as possible. So go ahead and put the heading at the top of your page up in that upper margin. Put down the month, the day, and the year. And the words grammar. Please remember that grammar does not have an E in it. Level 2, Lesson 1, parts of the sentence. Parts of the sentence. Underline all of that to show it as a heading. On the first line, you're going to write down the words a sentence is. We'll be filling in the definition later. And then toward the middle of the page, after skipping a line, I want you to write the words, the 5 parts of the sentence, followed by a colon, and also underline that to signify it as a heading. And beneath that, we're going to work in 2 columns. So once again, the heading at the top of the page. On the very first blue line of your paper, put a sentence is. Skip a line, in the middle of the page put the 5 parts of the sentence, underline it, colon, and then we're going to start working in 2 columns. So in the first section of the 2 columns we're going to put number 1, subject, the abbreviation for which is SUBJ period, and out next to that put the words must have. In the right-hand column, we're going to put the number 2, the word predicate, P-R-E-D-I-C-A-T-E, the abbreviation for which is P-R-E-D, period, and the words must have. So you're going to count lines here, and on the 7th line, the 7th blank line, you're going to begin with the next part. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on the 7th line, I'm going to put a number 3. The words direct object, the abbreviation for which is DO. And out to the side of that, put the words might have. Might have. The second column in that section, number 4, indirect object, the abbreviation which is IO. And also the words might have. I'm going to move this just a little bit to get rid of the heading at the top, and then you'll see the end of the notes. And number 5. Number 5 is subject complement. Notice that complement is C-O-M-P-L-E-M-E-N-T. This is a different kind of complement than nice shoes. This is more of a complement of completes something. The abbreviation for which is SC. And then out next to that, we're going to put the words must have with a linking verb. Go ahead and hit pause if you need to catch up here. Restart the video when you're ready for us to begin the notes. Alright, so here we are again, back at the top of the notes. So let's start with our definition of a sentence. So a sentence is a group of words. Sentence is a group of words that contains and I'm going to bounce back here underneath this line, a subject, a group of words that contains a subject and its predicate, a group of words that contains a subject and its predicate, and then I'm going to capitalize and here, all letters, and I'm going to underline and, makes a complete thought. A sentence is a group of words that contains a subject and its predicate and makes a complete thought. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bracket here to show that the following are examples. Tom ate. I'm going to put a period because this is a sentence. And then beneath that, I'm going to put if Tom ate. And I'm going to put a comma behind that. And I'm going to put not a sentence. It has a subject and a predicate, but it is not a complete thought. All right, so we're ready to move on. I'm going to take away the heading at the top, and I'm going to start underneath subject. So let's start with a definition first. The definition is the noun or subject pronoun the sentence is about. The noun or subject pronoun the sentence is about. All right, and I'm going to go up here and underline noun, the abbreviation for it anyway. And I'm going to underline pronoun because all subjects have to be a noun or a pronoun or words that are modifying those nouns or pronouns. Let me give you an example here of a subject. Of course, you could probably guess, Tom. If I were to draw this out in diagram form, it would look like this. So I'm going to underline Tom and I'm going to draw an arrow showing where it goes in our diagram. Now I'm going to move over to the predicate and I'm going to start with the definition. The definition is the verb and or other words that are about the subject. The verb and or the other words that are about the subject. Okay, the verb and or other words that are about the subject. And let's have an example here. Start with the original subject, Tom. And let's go with the verb gave. And that is a complete sentence. I could say Tom gave. Okay, that is a complete thought and it has a subject and a predicate set. If I were to draw it out, it would look like this. Subject goes where it originally was. Gave is going to hop down here. So I'm going to move this so that I've got just the subject and predicate at the top. And now I'm going to work on direct object. A noun or object pronoun that receives the action of an action verb. Again, it's the noun or object pronoun a noun or object pronoun that receives the action of an action verb. The noun or object pronoun that receives the action of an action verb. I'm going to underline noun, object pronoun, action, and action verb. The noun or object pronoun that receives the action of an action verb. Let me give you an example here. I'll use the same subject and predicate. Tom gave, and now I'll add the word money. Period. If I were to draw this out, I have the same subject, Tom, predicate is gave, those go in the same place, and now I have one more line I add. This vertical line signifies that we have a direct object over here, and that's where money goes. Okay, the next one, indirect object, or the IO. This is also a might have. Now with this one, we haven't really talked about this in any exercises yet, so this is one that's completely foreign to you at this point. But the definition is this: a noun or object pronoun that is indirectly affected, so we'll start there, the noun or object pronoun that is indirectly affected by the action verb and is located between the verb and DO, direct object. All right, so I'll give you an example here. Tom gave me money. Let me write that a little better. Tom gave me money. Okay, and we're going to draw it like this. And this is where the order starts to pop out a little bit when we draw it. Everything on the drawing is the same, except when we get to the end. Tom gave, money goes in the same place. Tom gave money. And now what I have is a little symbol like this. It almost looks like a prepositional phrase symbol, but there won't be any preposition here, which means this is going to be an indirect object. We put me right here. I'm going to move this so our last notes are at the top, and so we can get the final notes in here for subject complement. Okay, so the definition, subject complement, is a noun, subject pronoun, or adjective a noun, subject pronoun, or adjective that is linked to the subject by a linking verb that is linked to the subject by a linking verb and tells more about the subject. I'll give you an example of this. Tom can use the same subject, but the first verb that I used was an action verb. So by definition here, I can't use it, or I can't have a subject complement. So I need a linking verb. I'll use is. Okay, Tom is. And now I need a word that's going to finish this idea of Tom. So I'm going to say happy. Now the way we draw this out is also going to be different. I still have the subject predicate line. Tom is still the subject. My predicate is now is. And here's where it gets a little tricky. Instead of having a vertical line that signifies an action verb in here, this slanted line, probably at about 70 degrees or so, signifies that this is a linking verb and that what follows over here is a subject complement. So happy goes over here. I'm going to underline happy in the sentence, draw a line to show that's where it's going, and then that just reminded me to do that up here in Indirect Object. I'm going to underline me, and I'm going to draw an arrow showing that it goes all the way under here. So that's it for the content of the notes, but let's link these all together so that we have a flow chart. Pause if you need to finish that, but I'm going to go back to the top of the notes. So I'm going to draw a little arrow coming over here, and I'm going to write on the side of this arrow, if action verb, look for. If action verb, look for direct object. Doesn't have to be there, but it could be. So for example, Tom gave is a complete sentence. Tom gave money. Now I have an action verb. I can say the verb. Gave what? Gave money. There's my direct object. Then I'm going to draw another arrow. Over from 1 to here. And I'm going to write here, if DO present, look for. If DO present, look for indirect object. So Tom gave. Gave what? Gave money. Then I would ask the question, to whom or for whom? Tom gave. Gave what? Gave money to whom or for whom? Me. The answer to that question is my indirect object. Again, I don't have to have one. Now, because the subject complement, the fifth part of the sentence, relies on a different verb entirely, we have to bounce back up here to the verbs for this one. So I'm going to draw a very long arrow down to here, and I'm going to write along this line right here. If linking verb used, there must be. Okay, that's enough. If linking verb used, there must be. I follow the arrow down. What must there be? There must be a subject complement. And that's it. That's all the notes for level 2. Not just for today, but that is all the notes for level 2. All right, I will see you at level 2, lesson 2, where we will practice these ideas. See you later.